Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Rita, and that is Aaron. Today we're going to be sampling the Cohiba Red Dot Robusto, which before we get into things, Aaron should tell you a little bit about the Christmas to Go sampler, where we got this from.
Well, they're still available for $29.99 for, and it's got well over almost $100 of cigars alone, not including the Herfador and the cutter that you get.
See, you get one of these. You alright?
Yeah, just
you
shivers.
get one of these Herfadors, 5 count.
You get a Divina, which isn't worth it.
And you get one of these.
You get an Armada that is very well worth it. We've had the Cohiba Red Dots before, and we've liked them in the past. So again, that's pretty much worth it. It's $16.50 a stick. And then you get a Decade and a Prisonado, and you get
an 80 ring gauge
cutter for an 80 ring gauge cigar, which I've never actually even seen an 80 ring gauge yet. But that's actually kind of cool because for 70 ring gauge, I've had trouble cutting them with this type of cutter before. Anyways, this one's got a nice big guillotine. As for the wrapper on this, I showed you that there's some seams visible, some insect damage, which isn't really bad. In fact, that's why they use the wrapper. I guess that spot was fine. You probably can't see here, and I can't see here either, because, okay. You'll see there's a little spot where the leaf is really light there. And that's likely bug damage, but the cap looks good on this. It kind of pushes out on the foot. As for the smell, it's kind of...
I want to make a statement now, please. Go on.
Well, I was right in the middle of a sentence. Anyways, go ahead, make your statement.
Fine. Talking about what Aaron said, I remembered something and I wanted to clarify it with you all because we're in the cigars. But I better let him finish first.
No.
Now, the thing is, Aaron said he's never seen an 80 ring gauge. The 80 ring gauge is a 6x80
I see
Ogre Asylum. An 80 ring gauge.
I see there is. Okay.
And I've never seen any other cigars that are, that size with ring gauge.
Hey, I just said I'd never seen a cigar with that ring gauge. But, anyways, as I was, where was I? The scents. It's kind of got a slight cocoa-y smell from the foot and the head, but the wrapper itself doesn't give off much odor. And there's maybe some light, sweet, earthy smells in there, which I don't know how to describe those very well. But it's very faint, the odors that are on here. And cocoa and coffee might be the main two I pick up.
I'm picking up cocoa, definitely cocoa. A little earth. Mostly the chocolate I'm picking up is a dark chocolate. Just so you know, some Cohibas have never impressed me, so...
No, but it's one of the first cigars you and me both had. And that's the truth. When I was growing up at about 18 or 19, I got a hold of a box of Cohibas and another one of Partagas. My boss brought them into work, and I decided to just buy a box of them. Plan was to use them for something else, but I ended up smoking them because I found that they didn't work very well for that. So, and I felt I was wasting my money then. But it took me almost 5 years before I bought another cigar after 2 or 3 boxes of cigars. They were crystal tubes at that point. I don't know if they still have the tubes or not, but I like those tubes. Now I'm noticing a little bit of pepper. Not terribly much, though. Most of the flavors are kind of mellow, kind of a cocoa-y taste, and perhaps just a hint of floral and spice. Is what I'm kind of picking up here. I don't have anything further to say at this point. You?
No.
You don't need to look up the crystal tubes. I didn't see any of these here say crystal, but there's tubes, but not crystal tubes. Doesn't really matter anyways. Thing is, Rita, you need to give some feedback on what you're experiencing so far at this.
I'm smoking a giant hay stick at the moment.
So that's what you get. I'm kind of picking up complex flavors. So
Actually, I'm getting some toasty hints of oats, I think, as well.
one thing that sometimes I really like about cigars is that you can have 10 people in a room all smoking the same cigar, and all 10 might detect or pick up different flavors. And just because one person picks up this flavor, another one might not. And I've seen this in a couple different cigar reviews where some are like, huh, are you crazy? I don't taste that. I've actually looked at cigar reviews from like CI and Cigar.com and other cigar reviews, video reviews of cigars that I've smoked, and they say things that are totally different from what my experience. So, and that's cool. I actually kind of like that uniqueness. It kind of makes them more like candy than anything else. It's adult candy. I joked with Rita about that once. You know how they talk about a kid in a candy store. You get a cigar smoker in a cigar shop, and it's just that feeling of being a kid in a candy store. So, adult candy.
Personally, I don't really like Robustos because they don't smoke as long as some.
Yeah, Robustos are good, though. I like them periodically. I usually like an hour and a half smoke, though. But I got nothing further to say, so I guess we'll see you in middle third.
Welcome back to the first third.
Yeah, at this point, the flavors have kind of started to just mash together in a way that I can't determine what flavors I'm tasting, but there's a lot of them. In fact, there might be too much in here. I mean, the floral notes seem to be the strongest in my opinion, and some light leathery notes that are in there. But the thing that most disturbs me is I'm almost at the halfway point, only 20 minutes into the cigar. I have had Robustos that will last me, an hour and a half, hour, 20 minutes.
Hold on, even those short Casada cigars are 1 hour 10 to 1 hour 30.
We've been averaging 130 to 140 on those, I think. And those are shorter than this. On top of that, some of the cheaper samplers out there, cigars out there, like Holt's Smoke and Sandwich and Boardwalk, they last longer than this. For a cigar that's $16.50, I certainly do not like having a 40-minute smoke.
I would like to say something. Just for the audience, Aaron, take for a second, which usually you don't, like this, and go and feel around how loose the tobacco is.
It's really squishy at this point, too. But, we'll see how it turns out. Rita, you and flavors, is it just blending together for you, too?
Yeah, it took all those fusion together, and it's giving you like a fusion flavor you can't pick up except floral, you know.
I would sit there and say maybe an ickish taste, vomitous. It just, it's not particularly good, and there's nothing that you could particularly pick out as that is the flavor.
I think personally, and I know this can't happen today, but I would really love to sample another cigar today because this one's just at this point.
Well,
like
we might do. We have a casada we could do too, or I can go home and get a Dominica Vega for the TV show tonight, and you can end up having one of your diesels. This cigar is kind of so far a disappointment, though.
For $16.50.
I mean, seriously, stopwatch. 23 minutes, 23 seconds, half a stick gone. And for a $17 smoke, that is absurd.
I was just going to say, I was interested in the future picking up some Cohiba Black Robustos and Tubos, but I'm not going to pay the price. It's going to probably burn as fast as this.
And one other thing. I'm sitting here puffing it, right? And I have it in my mouth, taking a puff, and I get a partial puff, and then I try to puff again, and there's no more smoke. Why did it just go out mid-puff? Does not make sense. So I've never had that happen with a cigar before. It just went out while I was smoking, and I didn't rest it, didn't walk away from it. I was actively puffing like every 15, 20 seconds.
I wanted to say that I used to buy Cohiba Red Dot 7x49 crystals that would last about 2 hours when I first started smoking cigars. This is just downright a disappointment.
Maybe it comes from being a Robusto, or maybe it comes from the fact that they've become so popularized that they've raised their prices and dropped their quality. Because they know people pay it because, well, it's Cohiba. It's just upsetting to me is all at this point. Anyways, we'll get back to you in the final third. See you in a second.
Welcome back to the final third. I am your host, Rita, and that's Aaron.
So, anyways, getting on to the flavors. I'm picking up more leather now. The flavors have stopped blending so bad. I would say that the flavor here is kind of leathery and a little peppery. And we are now 48 minutes into this. I'm going to figure that I got another 15 minutes at least, so this is going to make a 1 hour cigar, which I guess is a bit of a reprieve for it. However, here's the thing. The flavors, they're okay. Maybe they're good enough that this seems like it's burning really fast. I don't know. The ash is really, really soft powder, which I don't have too many cigars with an ash like this. Usually they're a little firmer ash. But this isn't just falling off for no reason either, and it might stay on very well. I just don't like to build up a long ash. What I will say, though, is based on the price, this cigar, I can only give it maybe a 2 or 3. Try it once in your life, just so you can say, oh, I've had a Cohiba Red Dot. But, and that's only if you really, really like cigars. If you're kind of a new person to them, skip this expensive $16.50 cigar and go with something else that's much more affordable and much more flavorful and doesn't seem to just burn so fast. As I would rate it for all cigars I've tried, this is only going to rank up there about a 6. It just seems to burn too fast, even though there's an ease of smoke and there's some okay flavors in here. This really just is not worth $16.50. It's not a stick I would buy again. I've had these before, and I remember them being much better than this, longer burning. If you like short sticks, by all means, go ahead and get yourself one of these because you don't want anything very long. But to me, this just isn't the type of stick I like because I like a long burner. So, anyways, and I kind of like it more full-flavored, and I didn't talk about the flavors. This is kind of a medium to full-bodied with a mild to medium flavor. Your thoughts, Rita?
I can only give it a two because of first of all the price range, as Aaron said, $16.50. I remember paying a $14.99 to $19.99 for the crystal tubos, which were Churchills. So the second thing is back 10 years ago, these burned a long time. Now,
I swear they've changed their formula. Because the last time I had one was almost 10 years ago.
And on top of that, the cigar is loosely packed, so it's burning faster.
It's soft, it's squishy. This has no quality to it. Not the quality I would expect from something nearly $20.
Exactly, you know.
$20 cigar should be something that you do not get anywhere else. It is above and beyond the cheaper sticks. This doesn't fit it.
I will say for the $30 price tag, like we talked about with all the cigars with the Christmas
it's a good place to try one of
recommend
these.
it if you want to try it without spending a lot of money. I mean,
we have smoked all 5 in it now. We gave good ratings to 3 of the cigars and bad ratings to 2 of them.
Yeah.
But it's still actually worth the money because the 2 that got bad ratings are rather expensive cigars, and well, there you can get them rather cheaply. And go ahead and give them a try yourself. And you don't like them, hey, you're not out that much money. In fact, you'll still get 3 good cigars for that money that are worth more than the $30 price tag alone. And you'll get a travel humidor.
And an 80 room-gauge cutter.
Exactly. So I'll still recommend that Christmas to Go sampler because it is, for the most part, a good sampler. I always do 10 out of 10s, and 0 to 10 scale. And I would say that the overall rating out of 50 possible points is something like a 39 for that. So that's not all that bad. It's like it lost, the Divinia I think I gave like a 5 or less. And this one I just said is probably about a 6. So that's 11. And I think the other 3 were up there like 10. So that'd be 41 points out of 50.
So, for the final flavors, I'm picking up leather, hints of pepper, and light floral flavor as it's tapering off. And my overall rating is going to be a 2, flat outright, because I'm not going to be you can buy this Christmas to Go 2 sampler and you'll be happy with it, but if you're buying the cigar by the stick, you're not going to be happy. And because I bet you the Churchill burns just a little longer than an hour, maybe hour 20 minutes.
At least the good news on this is that vomitous flavor does only seem to appear in the middle third, and it disappears during the final third, and it's not present during the first third. So, anyways, I wouldn't recommend trying this unless you can get an affordable one, like in a sampler or something. And remember, you almost got that one sampler that had 5 of these, which these were the only cigars anybody's ever heard of in that sampler,
yes,
basically.
it's the Bender Fender sampler where you get 80 cigars, or something.
Yeah, you get something like 80 cigars for $100 bucks, $110, and 5 of them are these.
I believe they're Churchills they give you, though. I don't know. I don't have a catalog.
I don't remember. I thought they were Robustos. But anyways, thanks for watching another episode. Stay tuned. We'll have more episodes to come. Give us your comments, feedback, suggestions. If you've tried this cigar, what you thought of it. If you disagree with us, just be pleasant with it. That's all we ask.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.